Retirement in Canada used to feel simple. Work hard for decades, buy a home, save some money, and eventually enjoy a peaceful retirement. But for millions of Canadians today, that dream is starting to disappear. Food prices keep rising, housing costs are exploding, rent is out of control, and many seniors are now asking a terrifying question. Will I actually have enough money to retire? What's shocking is that this problem is no longer affecting only low-income Canadians. Middle-class workers, people who spent 30 or 40 years working, are now realizing they may not be financially ready for retirement at all. And the numbers behind this crisis are honestly disturbing. So in this video, we're going to look at why retirement is becoming so difficult in Canada, how much money Canadians actually need, the biggest mistakes destroying retirement savings, and what many future retirees are now doing just to survive. Because the reality is changing very fast, and most people still don't realize how serious this situation has become. The biggest reason retirement is becoming harder in Canada is simple: everything costs more now. Just think about how much prices have changed in the last few years. Groceries that once cost $100 now feel closer to $150 or even $200 for many families. Electricity bills are higher. Insurance costs are climbing. Property taxes continue increasing. Gas prices fluctuate constantly. And housing has become one of the biggest financial problems Canadians have ever faced. For younger Canadians, buying a home feels impossible. But even older Canadians approaching retirement are struggling too. Many still carry mortgage debt into their 60s and even 70s. That's something that used to be rare decades ago. In the past, many people entered retirement with their home already paid off. Today, a growing number of Canadians are entering retirement still making monthly mortgage payments. And that changes everything, because retirement income is usually lower than working income. If someone retires while still carrying major debt, their savings can disappear much faster than expected. And unfortunately, this is becoming more common every year. One of the hardest parts about retirement today is this: the amount of money needed to retire comfortably keeps increasing. Years ago, people thought $1 million sounded like an unbelievable amount of money. Today, many financial experts say even that may not be enough for some Canadians depending on where they live and how long they live. That's because retirement is not just about surviving. People still need housing, healthcare, groceries, transportation, emergencies, travel, family support, and rising living costs for potentially 20 to 30 years after leaving work. And Canadians are living longer than previous generations. Living longer is good news, but financially, it creates a major challenge. If someone retires at 65 and lives into their 90s, their savings may need to last nearly 3 decades. That's an incredibly long time. Now imagine inflation continuing during all those years. Even small annual price increases slowly destroy purchasing power over time. Something costing $10 today may cost far more in the future. And many retirees worrying that their savings simply will not keep up. That fear is becoming very real across Canada. Another major problem is that millions of Canadians simply are not saving enough for retirement. And honestly, many people are not entirely to blame. Life has become extremely expensive when rent, groceries, childcare, and bills consume most of someone's paycheck. Saving for retirement becomes difficult. Some Canadians are forced to focus only on surviving month to month. Others keep delaying retirement savings because they assume they still have time. But time passes faster than people expect. And compound growth works best when money is invested early. The longer someone waits, the harder retirement planning becomes. A lot of workers also depend heavily on government benefits like CPP, OAS, and GIS. But many experts warn these programs alone may not provide enough income for a comfortable retirement lifestyle, especially in expensive cities. That's why financial stress among older Canadians is rising. Some people who expected to retire at 65 are now delaying retirement several more years. Others are returning to work after retirement because expenses became too high. And this trend is becoming more visible across the country. Decades ago, many Canadians had access to strong workplace pensions. After retiring, they could depend on stable monthly payments for life. But today, fewer workers have those types of pensions. Many companies shifted responsibility onto employees instead. Now workers are often expected to manage investments themselves, contribute independently, and make complicated financial decisions alone. That creates major problems, because not everyone understands investing, retirement planning, or inflation risks. And mistakes made during working years can seriously affect retirement later. Some people invest too little, some invest too aggressively. Some avoid investing completely because they're afraid of losing money, and others withdraw retirement savings early to handle emergencies. All of this weakens long-term retirement security. Meanwhile, the old system that many previous generations relied on is disappearing, and Canadians are feeling the pressure. For younger Canadians watching all of this, retirement can feel almost impossible. Many young adults already face huge rent payments, student debt, expensive housing, rising food costs, and slower wage growth compared to inflation. Some people genuinely wonder whether retirement will even exist for them in the future. And psychologically, that creates frustration. Because previous generations often had lower housing costs and lower living expenses overall. Today's younger workers may need far more money to achieve the same retirement lifestyle. And that pressure is changing the way many Canadians think about the future. Some are considering moving to cheaper provinces. Others are planning to work much longer. Some are cutting spending aggressively. And many people are searching for additional income streams outside traditional jobs. The retirement landscape in Canada is changing rapidly. So what are Canadians doing in response to this retirement crisis? Many are becoming far more cautious with spending. Others are trying to eliminate debt faster before retirement. Some are downsizing homes. Others are postponing retirement entirely. And increasingly, older Canadians are continuing part-time work later in life. There's also growing interest in dividend investing, retirement budgeting, passive income, side income, and lower-cost living strategies, because people understand something important now. Retirement can no longer be treated as automatic. It requires planning, and the earlier someone starts preparing, the better their chances become. Even small financial decisions made consistently over time can create major differences later. The truth is, retirement in Canada is becoming harder than many people expected. And millions of Canadians are worried about whether their savings will actually be enough. But understanding the problem is the first step. Because ignoring retirement planning completely can create even bigger stress later. The good news is that many people are starting to take retirement more seriously now. They're learning more, planning earlier, reducing debt, and preparing for a future that looks very different from previous generations. But one thing is becoming very clear: the old idea of retirement is changing. And Canadians everywhere are being forced to adapt. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more Canadian retirement updates, pension news, and financial discussions every week. And let me know in the comments, do you think retirement in Canada is becoming impossible? Or do you believe people can still retire comfortably today?